It doesn't matter what the former spouse, father, mother of your child did or said. Whatever you feel about them, it really doesn't matter. And as long as they're not a risk of harm to their child or your children, then you're not getting sole custody.
How do we prepare clients for court?
So it's very, very important to have goals in mind. What the client needs to be clear on what they are trying to accomplish. And then on our end, it is our job to tell the client what is reasonable, what is not reasonable, what's going to fly in court, what's absolutely not going to fly in court. Yes, you can testify as to this. No, you are not testifying as to that. This is a no-fault state. So it doesn't matter what the former spouse or father, mother of your child did or said. Whatever you feel about them, it really doesn't matter. And as long as they're not a risk of harm to their child or your children, then they're getting their time. You're not getting sole custody. So I really have that serious talk with the client about what the expectations are. And then with my familiarity with the bench officers, I let them know what bench officers that they're in front of, what the preference is, what they absolutely dislike. And usually that definitely tones down the client. And that's what I love about this firm is that we tone down the cases. We're not emotional. We're not blowing up our client to have unreasonable expectations. And so we go in and we represent to the court as the reasonable party. And so I always tell clients that be the reasonable party, understand that this is likely going to happen, and you have to work around that.
And reasonable doesn't mean you're going to be a doormat. It means just you have to know how to present your side in a way that the court is going to respect. If you go in and you're yelling and you're screaming and you're rolling your eyes, this is not TV. And I know we've had some instances over the last couple months that people kind of advocate that. It's just not reality. So please don't go to court in that manner. Mm-hmm. What is one thing you all wish clients would know before they contact a law firm?
Even before you get into the courtroom, I like to have a conversation with my clients for their first time going into court or into a conference. How you present yourself is important. Mm-hmm. You need to make sure the background is clear. It's not a lot of sounds in the background. You're addressed appropriately. If you have your spouse involved, your spouse is not making faces or, snickering.
Or whispering in the background. We can hear that.
Yeah. You really want to be mindful of how you're presenting yourself to the judge and to opposing counsel. Everyone is taking notes on that, and you can definitely get a feel of a vibe through, Zoom. So be mindful, be very mindful of your background surroundings and the people that you have. If your spouse is an issue in the case, maybe leave your spouse off the Zoom.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Thank you. And turn off your mic and your video, right? Because it is open court. Mm-hmm. So whatever you're doing, if you're farting, burping, whatever, I say that because it has happened. And just be very, very mindful of that. And so right now we are doing both. We're going in person and remote, but a lot of our hearings are still remote. So what Candace has alluded to is very, very important. So I was asking, what is one thing that you wish clients knew or that they did or that they understood before they come to see us?
Oh, I have to chime in back on the honesty and integrity. Clients must tell us really everything as much as possible. Clients have to remember that whomever they're divorcing or they were intimate with that created a child, they were very vulnerable to at one point and talked about everything. So if you're not telling us,
They're going to tell
They're telling their attorney or the judge, and then I cannot stand when I'm speaking to opposing counsel and opposing counsel is telling me about my client and information that my client should say. So I don't understand why clients feel I'm not going to tell my attorney this and it's not going to come out. It's going to come out. It'll come out in subpoenas. It'll come out in I know this, I know that. Your spouse or former spouse knows you very well, knows your accounts, knows what you've been hiding. You need to say something to us so we can prepare for it. Otherwise, it's coming out another way, and that really makes this difficult. It can damage the legal relationship, really, because
and your credibility in the court.
The credibility, yes, yeah. And a client has a duty to be honest to us, so that's already a breach of the contract right there. So if a client can't be honest with their attorney, then they're truly not trying, in my opinion, not trying to come to a resolution. They just want to fight.